once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show, Shelf Talk. So, we're getting down into the nitty-gritty here of the Star Wars Darth Tuba collection. And it's kind of hard for me to give you full-out video shelf talks, just accessing the shelves directly. As you can see here, I don't have a lot of great lighting. And that's one thing that long-term I'm looking for ways to improve that. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube. There's some great videos of people's collections that are very streamlined and very neat, very organized. And, you know, on the one hand, I'm kind of like, well, that's something I'd like to do. That's goals. Good to have those goals, right? But on the other hand, I'm kind of like, well, you know what? I kind of like the mishmashness of my collection. I like that it doesn't always seem overly neat. I have areas or certain things that I do collect and try to keep them all balanced, but then there are just some things that I have so few of a certain collection or a certain subset that I have no place to put them, so I just kind of I put them where the room is, where I have space for them. So I have two shelves here I'm going to do today, because there's not a lot on each shelf. The first shelf you can sort of see here, and you'll probably recognize anybody who's watched the channel, and again, I'm right next to my boiler, so if the heat goes on, which it probably will, please forgive me, it's going to be a little loud. But again, you use the space that you have, and that's the biggest thing to be aware of. You use the space that you have. I don't know if it's ever been told on this channel as to the whole story of how this area, this home of mine, and how this space became the Star Wars collection. Most basements, as many people know, you're either finished or unfinished, right? Most people, when they get a basement, it's unfinished, and then they spend some time finishing it over the course of years or whatever. And in my case, it kind of was the opposite before I purchased the house. The house was completely finished in the basement when it was built, because it was kind of a mother-daughter. There was an upper level and a lower level, and one was, I think the lower level was actually a business. And by the time it was purchased by me, the people that had been living here or renting it had essentially tore out all the carpet, tore out the walls, and made it essentially a basement, which is kind of weird when you think about it. But a lot of it was still, the structure was still there, the setup was still really good, and the room that had the boiler was, like a lot of places when you see a room with a boiler, it's just got enough room to put the boiler, the water heater, and that's it. This room was humongous. It was literally another it was like almost the size of two rooms. So I said, well, this is where we're going to put the Star Wars stuff. We just got to make sure I keep distance from the boiler and the heater. So that's what I've done. It's not the most ideal setting, okay? I'm sure people can leave comments if you want. I get that, all right? I'm totally aware of it. And the other thing, too, is that I need to wire some more electric outlets out here so that I can power up, more display lighting, which is a long-term thing I plan on doing. But for now, as you can see, the shelving that we use here, this is basically just, cargo shelving that you can get at any, like Home Depot or Lowe's or even Walmart or places like that. It was very inexpensive, and it's not graded bases. It's flat and solid bases, so you can put stuff on them, and it's fine. So, what do we have here? Well, we'll start off here, and again, some of this stuff you might have seen already. This is actually a vintage Darth Vader speaker telephone. I am not kidding. That's what it is. It absolutely doesn't work, but I always thought that it was kind of cool that there was a Darth Vader speakerphone. You can dial the numbers here, and there was the volume and on off, that kind of thing. But I just enjoyed having this. This is about to kick in, so sorry for the noise. But that's what's really cool about that. So that's my Vader speakerphone, kind of an oddball thing. Then we have the General Grievous wheel bike, which we've opened up in a fairly recent unboxing episode. Really cool. Liking the opening up the Revenge of the Sith and the prequel stuff, knowing that stuff's never going to be of any serious monetary value, but it's still fun to see them open up and see what kind of stuff that they have. We also have, just kind of random, we have a, there goes the heater. We have a, sorry for the noise. We have our Biker Scout, kind of a snow speeder bike, Biker Scout, so that's pretty cool. And then we have, this is from Applause. Ooh, I try to open this up and not, And this is actually from back in the 90s when there was no Star Wars toys. Applause, the company Applause, was making some basic static action figures. You know, here's Boba Fett. You see Chewie. You got the Emperor there. You got Vader. You got Han. You got Luke. You got Leia, R2, and 3PO. It's a nice little, you know, display kit. Nice to have there. Okay, nothing too exciting, but at the time when there was no Star Wars coming out, that was really cool. All right, moving on. We've got the Force Unleashed battle packs. Now, the Unleashed series, not to be confused with the Force Unleashed, like I did those figures the other day on the previous episode. That was from the video game. This came out, I want to say in the early 2000s, mid 2007. So, Unleashed, and I'm sorry for the price tag, $29.99 at the time. Okay, but the Unleashed, when they were coming out with the figures, they were a little bit more statuesque figures about this from here up, about this tall, very epic looking, right? Then they started coming out with these little small pack sets that you could, you know, use almost like army men, you know, that kind of thing. So they came up with a few of these. I have since gotten rid of all of them. I've kept one or two just to kind of have a remembrance of that particular thing. In addition, we've got and this one I think I'm going to do an unboxing of, so I'll save this for an unboxing. But we have the Darth Maul and Sith speeder. This is when they were doing the Collector Series 12-inch figures, and this one was one that came with his speeder, an Episode 1 model. So I think I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm going to place this over here to take that up outside into the studio. And then lastly, on this shelf, we have, again, from a very close episode, we did an unboxing of the, I guess it was the Rebel base. I forget the exact title from it. It is a vintage item. It is an item that essentially was, they had the Land of the Jawas, they had an Imperial Center, they had the Rebel Command Center. There was like 3, I believe, and I had 2 of them, but I didn't have this one. So that was kind of cool. Now, I can't, in order for me to show you these, if I tried to show you them from the shelf, I'd have to literally get down and do an army crawl. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to bring them up. Okay, first we've got the not too long ago early bird kit. This is when they were in honor of the empty box early bird kit that Kenner had done back in the 70s when the movie was so popular, but they weren't able to get the figures in time. So in 2007, I believe, for the 30th anniversary, I believe they did a kind of a tribute to that by having a new early bird kit that you could mail away. So this is basically what came. It's R2, 3PO, or no, R2, Chewbacca, Leia, and Luke, and they're all new sculpts, but I just kind of keep them in here to remind me about the fact that it was the early bird kit. And we have this is kind of hard. I've done an unboxing with something like this. It's kind of hard to make out, but this is Return of the Jedi. It's kind of a 3-dimensional sculpt version of the movie poster, right? And you can see that they come with a couple of them. I think I have this one, and I have the Revenge of the Sith poster that came out. This one I'm keeping in the box for now. Maybe I'll do an unboxing of it later. Alright, and then we get into something fairly new. This is the Force Awakens action figure Poe Dameron and BB-8 X-Wing fighter. Okay, standard. Whoops. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was an annoyance. This thing, I remember if you watch the old episode, you'll see this. This thing was very challenging to keep together. In fact, I'm sitting here right now and I realized that it's missing one of its things. That's one huge downside to loose collecting. It's so hard to keep track of all the little accessories. That's why when like something has a lot of accessories, I kind of go, I don't want to open it because then I know I'm going to lose those accessories. It's around somewhere. I'm sure it'll turn up. So, all right, and penultimate, second to last, we've got this one. This is the Darth Maul's speeder from Episode 1. Now, I am trying to think if this was... Yeah, I do believe this is an actual playset, but I'm hesitant to open it up. I can't remember how. Oh, that's just the wings, okay? I think it might just be a vehicle. I'm looking at it. Oh, no. Yeah, there are parts that open up with it, but it's a cool device. I always thought this was a great device, a great vehicle. And this is, of course, not to scale to a figure. It would be much bigger. But for the purposes of what, the playability factor, that was always a nice thing. All right, we got one more. One last thing. This thing is a little bit of a challenge here, so bear with me. We have my original 1978 Millennium Falcon playset. Okay, and let me tell you something. I'm gonna just keep this. I don't want to get too close with the camera because the grime and the dust and all the stuff on this thing is absolutely horrendous. But there are plenty. Oh, good. Thank you, heater, for shutting off. There were plenty, and I mean plenty, of videos. I know Toy Polloi is a channel you can look at if you want to see restoration videos, and those are fantastic, and I love those restoration videos. But the problem is that I kind of like that this one is still, kind of grimy. I know it's kind of disgusting, especially these days when we're all trying to keep our hands clean, but I just like that this thing is really showing its age. I mean, it's not just like, look at this thing. I'll open this up and you can see it's mostly complete. It does still have, it has the chessboard. It has the little compartment that you can hide in. Okay. It's got 1, 2, you can hear that squeak. It still has all the landing gear. No longer has the sound effect. Well, a little bit for the seating there. Okay. Still has the cardboard on the inside, so it's decent. It's got the 2 little landing struts, or the opening of the gate struts there. So that's pretty cool. Still has its dish, still has the gun. And if I get this open, I don't think there was much to this. I will say that a lot of the labels have fallen off or are falling off. Here's an example of that. That's just kind of a natural kind of progression of the labels. But I don't know. I just kind of like it. I don't really want to clean it just yet. I might change my mind on that. It's not like it's been under, in storage for a long time, and then now that just kind of lays out on the ground here, So plus it's some of this stuff is just from this room, so it's a kind of a cool thing. But yeah, one of the greatest toys ever put out by Kenner, bar none. And the gentleman, I'm glad I aired it today because I just found out that Marc Bourdeau, I think his name's how you say his name, is the designer of a lot of Kenner. He designed every Millennium Falcon, including the newer 2-foot one that came out. Okay? He's retiring after like 42 years with the Kenner/Hasbro company. He also designed the Jabba sails barge, which we do, the whole back the barge thing. So we're really, as toy collectors, we owe Mark a great debt of gratitude, particularly those of us our age that grew up with the early releases of stuff that he did. Okay, so there you go. That's our shelves. I do want to say, Hasbro, Kenner, if any of you guys, I always try to link their Twitter accounts or whatever, but I don't know if anybody ever watches my video. But if you do, one little request, okay, can we get some more love for the sequel trilogy in terms of figures? All right, there are so many. You guys created the Lucasfilm created so many awesome aliens that I just want to have them immortalized in plastic. I know that the future is a big question mark, and I get that. But if there's any way you can produce more, even like pack sets, special sets, exclusives, I don't care where, I don't care how. Even if you want to do some big huge set as an exclusive or some kind of crowdsourcing, I would be okay with that. Like the whole Canto Bight scene or the whole Maz Kanata scene, that kind of thing. I think that would be really cool. But anyway, so that's going to be our shelf talk for this week. You'll notice that I've been putting out some more unusual, weird things. We've had our live stream. I put out a piano video, which is weird. And please feel free to skip that if you have no interest in that. I'm just really just trying to stave off a little bit of boredom. I'm kind of working from home, and there's a lot of like many, 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 like millions and maybe billions even of human beings right now. We're kind of like laying low in our house, and I'm just trying to do things to kind of put more positivity on the internet, because there's not a lot. This seems to be that we have a lot of negativity, and I'm just trying to do my part to add a little more. So, pick and choose what you like. This channel, I promise, will be mostly an unboxing and Star Wars related collecting channel. I still have things coming in the mail. I still have things that I should be able to do unboxing. I have plenty of more shelves to do. I've even had some retrospects of things I wanted to work on regarding, comparatively, like for example, the Millennium Falcon. Maybe dig out all of our Falcons that I have and kind of do a program with all of them. Maybe all the AT-ATs that have come out, that kind of thing. So we have plenty of things to do. Okay. But I'm also trying to just mix it up and do different things right now, because we have the time. So I will still drop on Wednesdays and Sundays, but you can expect a few more little ditties here and there. Welcome to our new subscribers. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, spread the word about the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And until next time, may the Force be with you.